a little delay, a little delay. Ready to talk some Accademia and Babila?
I'm ready to brew on some.
You ready to brew on some?
Okay. We'll talk about them.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. All right. We're really close here. We're going to go in about 10, 15 seconds after Todd gets a drink of water. And
we good to go?
we're good to go. Okay. Let's go. All right. Hey, welcome to Whole Latte Love. I'm Mark. I'm here with Todd. And today we're going to take a look at a couple of our favorite one-touch super automatic machines.
Yeah, one touch, and they have steam wands, so you can both use the milk carafe or the wand, which is really what makes these machines unique.
We'll be brewing all kinds of milk drinks, espresso, some longer coffees on them. And like you said, those wands on these two machines are kind of unique because like on the weekends when you got more time, you don't just want that quick cappuccino. You can do some latte art if you want. We're going to show you that as well. So let's get into it, right?
Okay.
And talk about the Gaggia Accademia.
Well, we'll get up close and personal. Well, first thing I want to do is to kind of keep this exciting is we're going to make a cappuccino with this.
Okay.
We got a little camera here. Come on, you can do it.
We'll get it.
We got a new device here. Doesn't seem to be working so good. Everybody getting sick yet?
Yeah. Hopefully we don't have that camera up. There we go.
Do.
Okay.
They're working? Okay, man. This has got like 3 gyros in it. How are they working?
they found themselves now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, we're going to go through the machine, but while we're doing that, we're just going to make a cappuccino so you can see what this thing can do. So we're just going to push the cappuccino button. We got our milk carafe here. It's going to froth through there. Then we're going to brew some espresso right out of there.
So the carafe, you just like yank out of the fridge, put it on the machine, hit a button up here.
Yeah, well, I hit the cappuccino button. And you see up here in the display, it'll say cappuccino.
Yep.
And it's going to start to froth. So we figured we'd start with a teaser, so you get some good milk drinks, just so everybody stays interested.
But while it's making that, let's go through the machine. Huh?
Okay. You have 4 buttons over here, one for brewing espresso, one for doing a larger coffee, one even a larger coffee. The espresso, cafe lungo. And this button here is used to switch between hot water or steam coming out of the wand down here. So we'll take a break for a second, take a look at your cappuccino in action. Now it's going to do a cleaning cycle here. It's really important to keep all parts of your carafe clean. You don't want old milk sitting in there. So that's the first cleaning cycle. Afterwards, it'll do another one where it sends steam down through the wand.
Very cool.
The other side here, we have your cappuccino button, latte macchiato button, and latte button. Now a latte, it doesn't brew any coffee, it just steams milk. If you need to do a cleaning cycle, use that button over there. So those are your 4 basic controls.
And there's the finished cappuccino in
Yep.
about a minute, right?
Yeah, something like that. I didn't time it, but yeah, that's a nice drink.
Yeah.
So we'll set that off to the side.
All right, let's
And now it's going through another cleaning cycle here. She says clean there, send the steam down through here. You see it coming out the drip tray?
Yep.
Then you can pull this off and stick this back in the fridge.
And then it's ready to go for next time.
Yep.
So really easy to use.
If you want to put it on, you got a little cover you can use here. Oops, I'll get it in here, right? Just make it look pretty. Up top here, you have your water reservoir here. Okay, and you can put a filter in this if you'd like. We don't have it in here right now.
We have one in the Babila.
And the
we'll
other
take a look at
machine
in a minute.
Yep.
Now, why would you want to use a filter?
You know, keeps the machine clean, keeps the scale down. The one thing you don't want it to do is send these machines in for service. So, take good care of them. Okay, here's where your beans go. And you got the grind setting here. You fit quite a bit of beans in here. I'm not sure exact amount, but it's plenty.
Plenty of beans. You got a nice seal on the lid there.
Yep, right there. So it's very airtight. And
you got your grind control in there as well, right?
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Your grind setting. I have this on number 2, so second from the finest. If you're brewing espresso, you'll like it on a fine setting. If you're doing a tall cup of coffee, you would switch this over to a coarser setting.
Deeper extraction with a finer grind on the espresso?
It gives you a better extraction for a
Yeah.
short amount of coffee, like an espresso. Inside, you have a used coffee container here. So you have to empty this out. And a drip tray here. You can take that, empty that out into the sink. And inside, another really nice feature I really like about the Gaggias is the brew group is removable. So if you need to take this out for cleaning, you can. In fact, you want to take this out for cleaning. Once a week, take this out, rinse it under the sink, and then let it dry. Then clean any moisture or coffee out of the inside here.
And I got a quiz for you. What do I always call this thing?
This?
Yeah.
Brew group?
It's the mini little mystery barista inside the machine.
The little barista. Sorry, Mark. I'm trying to think like you. I can't do it.
Oh, and I'll just mention, if you have questions about this machine or any of them, we will take your questions in a little while here. So,
Yeah. So you want to clean off the gasket there, the shower screen, all this. And then when you put it back in the machine, always hit push first. And it'll slide and kind of go like that. Just make sure it's locked in place.
Beautiful.
And it's good to go. And then you have a drip tray up front here also. So you can take this out for any spillage you get up front here.
Okay. Now, and one thing about this, there's a lot of these super automatic machines. These are one-touch machines, and when you hear one-touch, what does that mean, Todd?
You push one button, it grinds, tamps, and brews coffee and frosts milk, and you get a cappuccino.
At one touch of the button,
One touch the button, you get
move your cup.
You get something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, other things about this machine that we probably want to dig into. I don't want to go real deep, but I want to go deep enough that you understand what we got here. You can program all the coffee buttons through the menu, or you can do it as a push and hold type of way. Like, for example, if you want to, I'll do a latte macchiato real quick here so you can see how that works. It's easier to do it when you're looking at it instead of going in the menu and doing it that way. So you push and hold the button here, so it says memo.
It's going to be a really small latte macchiato, huh?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I'm doing more of an espresso macchiato.
Okay.
It's quicker. Because what's nice about these buttons, you can program them for any size cup you want. You don't have to, because it says cappuccino, you can make anything you want. Put as much milk or as much coffee as you want. And I like about that much.
So you just press stop.
Press stop.
There goes that steam cleaning.
Let's rinse. And now we're brewing espresso into that. And when it gets to the amount of espresso I want, I'll hit the stop button again, and then it'll remember that for next time.
So here comes the espresso. And there are two spouts down here, so you can make 2 cups at a time. Not a milk drink, right? Milk drink's 1 at a time.
1 at a time. So if you want to do a double shot of espresso, you hit the brew button twice. It'll grind, tamp, and brew. Grind, tamp, and brew.
There goes our espresso. Beautiful.
So
Now that's all stored. You just hit, once you have the amount of espresso you wanted in there, you just hit the button and
Nice.
Nice looking little drink.
Isn't that great? Look at the layering.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. And there goes that steam clean after you just put the spout of the carafe back. It does a little steam clean. Again, it's shooting the steam all through that handle to get rid of any milk residues.
Yeah.
And then it's ready to go.
Now, one of the things I want to show you about these machines is how you can froth milk yourself, which is one of the features I really like. It's got this steam one on here, so you can actually texture the milk. So we're gonna do that. Now push this button here.
So you just push the.
And we'll get the right picture here.
Lost my gimbal again there.
Yeah. Push that steam button there. Okay. Get my picture underneath there first. Now what I'm going to do is, I want to make nice creamy froth, so I'll lower the pitcher down a little bit, so it's injecting a little bit of air in with it. Try to make it so you can see in there better. You get the milk rolling around, just a little bit of air, not a lot. When you have enough air, you raise the pitcher so the tip is well underneath the surface of the milk. And you're not injecting any more air with it. Then it just heats it. You don't want to get anything over 140. That's the way I like it. It's nice and sweet that way. When you're done, there's a button, stop button up here you push. Then we'll hit our espresso button. And we'll brew our coffee. While we're doing that, I'm just going to wipe our wand off a little bit.
I always want to keep the wands clean.
You guys let me on the set here, but I'm kind of a messy guy. I think everybody gets horrified when I come out. It's like, oh, here he goes again. I do my best. Okay. Now look at the milk on here. You can see it's really creamy.
So this is how you get the latte art quality.
Yes.
Sort of milk. So on the weekends, you got a little more time, you want to play.
Yeah. Even if you don't pour latte art, you still get really creamy froth in it. It's going to taste really nice.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
That's
I
nice.
know it's probably not up to your standards because they never are. But,
so it's a nice little heart. But it shows what you can do on this machine.
Right.
It's phenomenal. And you can't do that on any of the other super automatics that we sell. I know I sound like a used car salesman here, but you can't.
Except for the Babila right next door, which we'll get to in a moment.
Now, other features about this thing, we're almost done, guys.
Yeah.
In the program mode, it's really cool. You can do tons of stuff in here. If you push that button, looks like gears. You can get all the maintenance setting, general display. I mean, you can change to the eco function on off, make it so it doesn't beep.
You got a cup warmer up top.
Turn that on and off. Displays. I mean, it's just for you can do a bunch of stuff with that. I don't want to get into all this right now. Set the calendar in the clock, so the thing will turn on when you want it to. Water settings, whether set your water hardness, enable your filter if you're using it. Activate it, which is a rinse cycle, to send water through your filter. And other maintenance settings. It's got product counters, tells you when to do a brew group cleaning cycle. You can do that. So put a cleaning tablet in the top and it goes through an actual like washing cycle, craft wash cycle. And then the craft auto clean. If you don't want to do a self rinse after frothing, you can turn that off.
Okay.
Am I going fast enough?
Yeah.
Too fast?
No, I think you're doing fine.
Okay, good. Espresso. Now, if you want to program these buttons over here, but you want to do it here, you can go in each of these coffee buttons. So coffee amount, I'll show you. You can do strong, medium, or mild. And we always go strong. That means that's the amount of coffee that it brews. I mean, you may not want to, but I do. Pre-brewing, off, normal, or extra. That's when it wets the coffee before it turns the pump on and brews the whole cup. We like to have a normal. That works really well. If you want a little extra crema on top, you can try extra, but it takes a little bit longer. Coffee temperature, always set that to high. Coffee length, that's where you can set that bar how much coffee
you want.
You want, exactly. You know, if you screw everything up, go back to default values.
So you can set it right back to how it came from the factory. Yeah. And you know what? I do want to take a look at a milk drink because this machine does something that very few machines do.
And what is that?
The adjustable froth quality out of the pitcher.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that. So we'll go down to the cappuccino.
Yeah.
So we'll go in there. So you do coffee amount, pre-brewing, coffee temperature, coffee length, milk length. It's talking fast again. But milk foam. So we have it set to maximum. You could do kind of a medium amount of foam, almost no foam. And that's all controlled through over here. There's two Teflon tubes here that will inject air or steam into it.
Okay.
So it controls the amount of froth that it'll give you, and it times it out that way.
And that's a really unique feature to be able to do that in a one-touch machine. There are some that have like dials where you can manually adjust it, but to be able to set the type of froth you want for each drink, that's pretty darn unique. For instance, on that cappuccino, you're going to want an airier froth, and for a latte, not so much air in the froth really, but you can have it any way you want it, and you can program all the milk drinks independently on there for that froth quality, along with the temperature and the amount of coffee and how much coffee and how much milk for the milk-based drinks.
Yeah, and I'd say when you're brewing coffees, just keep in mind if you're doing espressos, set it to fine. If you're doing a taller cup of coffee, then you can set it to a coarser setting.
Right.
I recommend that. We did forget one small feature. We talked about there's a dial on the front of the machine.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at that and talk about what that does.
It controls the speed of the flow. So try and show that in action here. Now I have the grinder set pretty fine, so it's not going to have as much control as if you had it in a coarse setting. This creates a back pressure in the brew group to slow down the flow. So we'll see if we can show you how that works.
And your advice with setting that is what? Slower for
espresso? Slow, tall cup of coffee, fast.
Yeah. So you, yeah,
Yeah.
you see the difference because
Yes, you know, actually, it's not making a lot of difference now. Like I said, I have it so fine that
Right.
there's so much back pressure already.
for the espressos.
It's when you have it set to a coarser setting that this makes a much bigger difference.
Okay.
So if you coarse setting, set this for fast, and you get a tall cup of coffee.
Well, let's do that. So let's set up to make a taller cup of coffee. How's that? Because that's all about changing the grind size up here,
Okay,
right?
Yep. So I'm just gonna waste one shot. Push the coffee, push down, and turn it. I'm going all the way to coarse. And then we'll just run this one through. Because it's going to gotta grate the old coffee out, you know, the fine
Right.
coffee before we can get to the fresh ground coarser coffee.
So, you know, I have a lot of different super automatic machines that I go through in the studio here, so we, you know, test them all out, use them all out.
Yep.
And, you know, the Accademia has been around for a while, and it's the machine I had, you know, I use for my daily cups of coffee here for a couple of years. And there's my travel mug, and I'm going to show you something that's also really cool about this machine in a minute. Oh, you're going to show me.
Well,
Yeah,
just
make
do
it in
now.
there. My travel mug fits under there. It's got that pushback spout, so you can fit the tall. So if you want to leave the house, or you know, you want a big cup of coffee anytime, you can fit a really big cup
You
under
can see how
there.
that's faster. That's real fast.
Yep,
That slows it down. Can you hear it?
yep.
So that's where that works really well. So if you do a tall cup of coffee, this is great. You can get a maximum amount of 8 ounces of coffee with one push of the button. So if you want a 16-ounce cup, you push it twice.
And it'll grind twice,
You know, grind Tampa brew, get 2 8-ounce cups.
so you don't lose any strength.
If you want to get let's say an 8-ounce really strong cup, I programmed this one for 4 ounces at full 3-bean coffee strength. You push that twice, you'll get 8-ounce really strong cup of coffee.
Well, you know what my favorite is on? That I used to always do? Red eyes.
What's that?
So you do like, you know, a long cup of coffee, and then you do a shot of espresso on top.
That'll work. Trying to kill everybody. And the last drink I want to go over
Yeah.
is an Americano. So if you want to do an Americano, which is basically an espresso, and you just mix hot water with it. So for a full cup of coffee. So you get the flavor of the espresso, but you don't get the over extraction, as I like to call it, with the tall cup of coffee. So anybody that likes the cafe crema, sorry about that. My favorite is Americano.
Real men drink red eyes, I'm just saying.
So we
Really?
brew our espresso.
No response at all?
I'm focused.
You know I'm going to give you a hard time.
Yeah. So then
So the Americano is just the
espresso with hot water.
with hot water on top.
And so you just push that button, push the hot water button.
And you get your hot water.
Yeah,
You
hot
can also
water.
use that for tea if you wanted to.
Yeah. And if you want to do this, you can always have a hot water kettle or get hot water any way you want. And that, my friends, is the Gaggia Accademia.
So we've got a little graphic that can kind of recap just some of the features of the Accademia. We'll take a look at here. So you got 7 drink options. You have the 3 coffees, the 2 milk drinks, or you get just the milk foam out of there. You've got the adjustable milk froth, and that's really, really unique, right, in these machines out of a carafe like that. And you've got a self-cleaning carafe, which is really nice.
And I guess you probably want to say something smart, Mark, about all the deals we got going and why buy from Whole Latte Love.
Yes, I do. So, at Whole Latte Love, you got to come back to me here for a second. So at Whole Latte Love, anything you buy, you get free shipping over $50. So that's real nice. We have the Latte Rewards program, so you're going to get any purchase you make, you're going to get 2% in rewards of the purchase, which you will, yep, see, there you go. It's our loyalty program. You get 2% of the purchase price back. And we have live US-based customer and technical support. So you got real people. So if you're not sure what machine you should get, you want to know more about the features, there's actual people that you can call during business hours and get some support before you buy, after you buy, or for any questions you have about any of the products that we sell. And we have a very extensive online support wiki. That's at our support wiki, where we have lots of videos all put together for you. buy a machine to show you how to operate them, tips on how to make drinks, all kinds of different things. So that's a lot of good reasons. Oh, and we also have, I just want to mention, because right now we're running the contest, you can enter to win a $500 shopping spree at Whole Latte Love. You know, use some of that money, upgrade or start your coffee bar. And I guess we have Amanda with us, who's screening our questions, and we have some questions. So,
hi, Amanda.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Right, so we had one a little bit ago from Barks Damasi. He or she, not sure, was asking if you can pull a flat white while using the latte frothing wand. So can you use those two things at once?
Yeah, you can froth your milk and then just brew your espresso into it.
I think it kind of sounds like what the question was. Can I, make an espresso while I'm frothing?
Yes.
That sort of seems like it. And no,
No.
you cannot.
You do one and then the other.
But this machine does use 2 boilers, correct? So it's very, very fast. So like as soon as it's done doing one, you can do the other. So it's really fast. That way, a lot of machines will kind of split the boiler and use it for espresso or steam. But on this machine,
some of those can be pretty quick too. But this is definitely a little bit faster.
yeah. So
And we have another one. This one is from Sinan Bali. I recognize this name.
Hi.
They are
Welcome
asking if they're saying that they can't use the travel mug because they believe their coffee loses taste. Do you have a solution for that? I tried asking what the material was, and
the coffee.
they said the outside is metal, but not sure about the inside. It's a Starbucks travel mug.
It loses taste, or the taste
Yes.
is a. Well, if it loses it, I'm wondering if he's saying because the volume's too large for the dose of coffee, and we kind of covered that. And if you really want it, how would you make a really tall cup like a?
Yeah, it depends how much. Say you're doing 16 ounces. If you got a really tall cup and you want it really strong, you have to do 2 double shots at 4 ounces with maximum strength.
Yeah, and that'll get you
Yeah.
that extra strong.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you have to brew, set your coffee dosage to the highest. If you have an 8-ounce cup, do 2 4-ounce strong cups. If you have a 16-ounce, maybe do 2 8-ounce strong cups. But you just got to try different ways and see what works for you. For the size cup you have. Losing taste, the only time you lose taste, I think, is if coffee gets old, or you get some bad taste coming in from your Starbucks cup.
but I mean, like for me, I really like, because there's not a lot of machines where I can fit the travel mug under there, and I'd always, when I had this in the studio for a couple of years, I'd be going out and leaving for the day, and I wanted a big tall cup of coffee with me, or get in first thing in the morning, and I wasn't going to have an espresso that day. That fits under there, and I could do 8 ounces in here in setting the machine strong and get a really nice cup of coffee. So, and then sometimes I do that red eye where you throw a shot on top if I needed a little extra kick.
Yeah, that'll give you extra taste.
Yeah. So, anything else? Or?
Back to the red eye recipe.
Oh boy.
Barks Damasi says he wants it. Could you repeat that one more time?
Okay, so you can make it really any way you want, but the usual red eye is just like a regular sized cup of coffee, 6 to 6 ounces or so, and then just a single shot of espresso on top, or you can do 2 shots on top if you want, and get that extra kick. An interesting fact.
Oh, great! Fun facts.
I like my facts. There's this impression that espresso has more caffeine, so a single espresso has more caffeine than a regular cup of coffee, and turns out that's not really the case. I forget the exact numbers, and they vary depending on the size and all that. But the typical shot of espresso, I think it's like 60 milligrams caffeine, and a typical coffee, depending on how big you go, can be 80 to 100 or 120 milligrams of caffeine. So if you want to get, if you want an espresso that's as strong as a regular cup of coffee, you usually got to do a double.
So it would make sense that our cafe cremas, where we do a tall cup of coffee, has more caffeine than the espresso.
Yeah.
Because
So
you bring more water through, you're sucking out more of the caffeine.
yeah. So if you do that red eye that I was doing, you're getting really about the same amount of caffeine as you'd get in the same size cup of coffee for the most part. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So anything else, or we want to move on to the Babila? Babila. I'm going to get it right. I keep on wanting. It's such a machine. It's gone into standby.
Yeah.
It looks like, since we've had it off for a little while.
Yeah, we'll get it back in, hit the button, go on to standby. Now, we talked with our friends at Gaggia about how to pronounce this, and it turns out, remember Bob Vila from the home improvement show? What's it called?
Yeah.
This Old House.
This old house, yeah.
It's like that. Bob Vila, but Babila.
Babila.
Take out the V, Babila. Yeah.
Babila.
So, anybody you wanted to know, that's what it is.
I'm still going to call it the Babila sometimes because I like calling it a babe because it is a babe of a machine.
Anything you like.
All right.
Okay, so what do you want to do? Do you want to go through the whole thing with this one like we did with the Accademia?
Yeah. Well, perhaps the first thing we're going to notice is the machines are really kind of similar, right?
Yes, they are.
I mean, similar look. You got similar spouts. You got the frothing.
Yep. So just kind of, it's got almost the same carafe. Mm-hmm. Very similar. It's got the hot water wand. The buttons and the layout here is different, and they work a little bit differently.
Okay.
But other than that, it's really similar.
And this one has a couple more drinks. So it's got a couple of what they put under a special menu. So you got all those buttons out front.
Yeah, so we have an espresso, a coffee. Well, I'll do it the way they call it. Espresso, espresso lungo, and coffee. So short, medium, and tall.
Right.
But you could actually make the tall short if you wanted to. You can program it any way you want. And then you can control the amount of coffee it's going to grind with this button over here. 1 bean, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
And then
so 5 is going to be the strongest, of course.
One more push. Does that take us to the
the
bypass
coffee.
doser? So you can use, if you want a decaf, you can put pre-ground in the top.
So you put the pre-ground there, and you would hit your coffee button, and it says, did you insert your coffee? Oh, yeah, we did. So you push that. No, we didn't, so it's just going to do a rinse cycle. Now, actually, this is good to know, because if you ever want to rinse the brew group real quickly, you can do this.
Okay.
And it'll rinse water, any old coffee that's in there, it'll just purge it right out. Even in the instructions, it tells you to do that on startup to rinse this out.
Okay.
I actually read the instructions. And that's a good point. The instructions are good.
Yeah.
They're really good. If you sit down and read them, you're going to learn a lot. It'll take you no more than 20 minutes. So I highly recommend that. Of course, we can help you on the phone, but.
Now, one thing I noticed on here, you had 5 strength settings. So, over on the Accademia, we had 3.
Yes.
I believe. So a little bit more control here.
So where do you want to go first? Well, start
at the top. So very similar setup.
Yeah. This one has a different filter in it than the other one. This has an aqua clean filter.
So this one we do have the filter in.
Yeah.
And the reason for using that, number one, you get better tasting coffee because it does carbon filtration, which removes chlorine. It also softens water, so you have to descale less.
You have your beans go over here. Again, nice soft seal here. Put quite a large amount of beans if you want to. I have this set on grind number 3. One thing really nice about this machine and Gaggia machines in general is they can grind the coffee fine. So you get a really nice espresso out of these. I would dare to say better than other super automatics.
Okay.
Because you can grind finer. And that's what I like. If I put this down to 1, you'd barely get any flow out. It'd be so fine. It'd be almost clogging the brew group up. And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
Compared to the Accademia, this one had 15 grind settings, as opposed to the Accademia, I think it's 7.
Yep.
So a little more control and flavor and grind on this one.
Okay. This jib tray comes off like this. It's got a little float inside. If that floats up, you'll see it pop up here, and you'll know that it's time to empty it. Very similar to the Accademia. It's got the jib tray comes out here, or you have your used coffee container here.
So that holds the pucks, the coffee pucks.
And drip tray here. And the brew group right here. This comes out. So for this, just rinse this underneath the sink and let it dry out. About once a month, you can put a cleaning tablet up here on top into your bypass doser. Go into the program mode, and you can run a nice cleaning cycle where it actually uses soap, kind of its own
detergent. Gets all the coffee oils out of there. And so just one more little test. What do I call that thing?
Oh, the mini barista.
The little mini barista.
The mini barista. Mark's little barista. I'm going to dump these out while we're here.
So yeah, so the 2 machines are very similar. You have the carafe as well over on the Babila. But this carafe does not have the adjustable milk froth. You can't program the type of froth. It puts out one sort of froth, right?
What am I doing wrong here? Yeah. Doing something wrong here, guys. Sorry. There we go.
There you go.
Trained professionals. Don't try this at home. Okay, pull that off. It fits in there. You push that over, and if you want to brew a cappuccino, this under there, and hit your cappuccino button. Now I have this set for the strongest coffee, because that's the way I think a cappuccino should be made. But if you don't like them strong, you can go to program mode and lower the amount of coffee that's going to grind. And the key thing when you're making these coffee drinks is make it so it tastes good. Just because I like it strong doesn't mean you do. You may find your coffee to milk ratio, you like it a little differently.
And just because I like red eyes doesn't mean you have to drink them, but give it a try.
That's correct. Yeah. I'm not going to try. Actually, I've been offered that before.
Have you?
Yeah. At for a shot of espresso at the local Tim Hortons when I drove in one morning. Yes, I went to Tim Hortons.
Yeah, obviously, I was going to hassle you a little bit for that.
I bet the people on the West Coast don't even know who that is. Or down south. It's a Canadian company.
Which, incidentally,
like Dunkin' Donuts. Yes.
Interesting fact, all the Tim Hortons coffee that's sold in the northeastern United States is roasted right, not far from us at all.
Yeah, we could smell it when we come to work on the roasting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check this out.
So there's the froth quality that comes out of here. Again, not adjustable like it is on the Accademia, but it's a really nice froth, and you can see the nice layers happening there. The typical cappuccino with your cap of foam on top.
Yeah, so she makes a beautiful drink. And if for some reason you want to stop the frothing, you can push that button, it'll stop at any time.
So like you program for a larger cup and oops, I put the smaller cup under, you can always hit stop and you're not going to have a mess.
Isn't that gorgeous?
That is a nice looking cappuccino.
Nice.
What coffee are we using, by the way?
Okay, we're using Coffee Mio. We'll show you that to you. There's our Coffee Mio, the Mio Doro blend. We have this air shipped right from Coffee Mio, right out of Australia. So it doesn't spend any time on a boat. It gets here real fast when we order it.
And they have sort of designed their blends a little bit to work well in a super automatic machine?
Yeah, they're a Gaggia distributor in Australia. So they know what machine, how to roast the coffee for the super automatic machines. And they specially did this, so we have nice coffee.
Okay.
I don't know how deep we want to go into this thing, but everything's programmed. Oh, I know how I want to look at it. Let's go into the special drinks. Okay, so you can go milk froth. Let's see. It tells you insert your carafe if you're doing that. Mm-hmm. And you do hot water, you do that, and push the check button. And hot water comes out of the wand here.
And for the Americanos or tea or oatmeal or
anything you want to do.
Anything you need hot water for.
Yeah. And so if you want to do steam out of the steam wand, to do that. If you want to do a ristretto, you can have that programmed in any size you want. An espresso macchiato, a flat white. So with these espresso macchiato and flat white, it'll grind, tap, and brew the coffee and then froth your milk for you.
Okay, so it's got a couple other drink options as opposed to the Accademia. It's 11 total drink options on the Babila and 7 on the Accademia.
Yep. So why don't we do a little frothing through the wand here?
Yeah.
Show you how that works? Let me just reach across. I apologize.
I'm just pull back for a sec here. So, don't forget to, we're going to do a lot of live streams. We've done a bunch. We're going to be doing them almost every day right around 3 o'clock. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you'll be aware of those. Plus, we have literally more than 1,000 other videos on everything coffee. Very specific videos will take you up close to most of the products we sell, technique videos. I'm amazed that we have 1,000 videos. It's kind of crazy. But
yeah, we've done everything right from just how to do latte art, how to froth, how to brew, and a lot of I got to pay attention. A lot of tech support videos. So if something goes wrong, and if you have a problem with the machine, whatever kind of machine it is, we can do a video for you to show you how to fix it or take care of your issues.
So let's see that is, again, it's pretty unique on a super automatic machine where you get a one-touch milk-based drink, or if you got a little more time and you want to go for a higher quality froth, you've got that option to do that here too. So you can be the barista.
At home, this is probably what I'd use a lot of times. When you get to the temperature you want, about 140 degrees, you can tell by feeling the pitcher, it just starts to get pretty warm.
When it's too hot to hold, the milk is done. Or actually before that,
Before
right?
that even, yes.
Yeah.
Always wipe your wand off. Now, take a look at this milk here. You can see, really creamy. Mm-hmm. But if you do get some air bubbles in it, you can kind of hit it like this. You can see them pop. They bounce out.
That's when you go into a cafe that you're going to hear a lot of pitcher knocking.
Depending on the quality of the barista too. I'm not the greatest barista, but
One thing you don't hear anymore really is knocking of portafilters with tampers, so right?
No.
That doesn't happen anymore. That was a thing years ago.
Okay, we'll try some latte art. No guarantees how it's going to come out. We'll give it a shot. Since it's live, you never know what's going to happen.
And again, even if you can't pour the pretty pictures, it's still going to taste just as good. That's not bad.
A barista wouldn't say that's great, but the fact of the matter is the milk is really nice and creamy, so it's going to give a great mouthfeel, great texture, really nice flavor.
Actually, and you know, I will remind people, on Friday at 3, we are going to have a barista come in who's got a huge following on Instagram, does all kinds of really cool latte art. We're going to have her come in and get live with her on some of our other, well, more of our semi-auto, you know, more the prosumer level machines. That should be really, really cool. So do subscribe and be sure and check that out. You know, if you can't be there for the live event, it will be on the channel afterwards, but subscribe so you find out about it. Also, you know, let's take a look at the, you know, some of the basics on this machine, and then we can talk again about comparing them a little bit. So if you got that graphic. So on the Babila, we have the 11 drink options. Oh, you can, in the menus, you can adjust the taste. It's like a pre-infusion setting, so you have 3 settings in there. You go to delicate, regular, up to full body. You have some more grind size control on the Babila with 15 grind sizes. So you have that same self-cleaning milk carafe and the flow control, so you can really dial in, right? Again, you want a slower extraction for an espresso and a longer one for a longer cup of coffee, taller cup of coffee.
Which we like to call it cafe crema.
Yeah, cafe crema. So, and also just a couple reminders of, you know, why you might pick up your machine at Whole Latte Love. We've got the free shipping, right, on any purchase over $50. 2% in latte rewards. So whenever you make a purchase, 2% of that purchase price, you're going to get back to use on a future purchase. We've got live US-based customer and technical support. These are folks you can call, many of them working currently as professional baristas, so they know their coffee. They've used all the machines that, you know, you're going to talk about. We have every machine that we sell is available for use here. We get new ones in. We always, you know, everybody in the company, they're in the break room and what have you, so people will use them. And we've got that extensive, our support wiki, which just has, it's a really easy way to find some of our best videos on, you know, frothing techniques and different things. But also do subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can find them real easy there as well. So do we have some questions, Amanda?
Yes, we do have questions. Sinan is back again. He's asking, how long can the grinded bean last? I'm guessing so for any pre-ground coffee that you put into the bypass doser, or?
Well, the longer it sits, the worse it is.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on the flavor. You know, some high-end baristas will tell you as soon as ground, you got seconds to brew it. But then there's pre-ground coffee people have been buying for, you know, forever. And they like it, even been sitting around a month or 2. But keep it sealed, away from the air, in a cool, dry place, and it'll last as long as you can get it to last. It's about the flavor. If you like the flavor and you're okay with it.
If that's what you like, that's what you like. But I'm going to tell you, if you're, you know, used to drinking pre-ground coffee and you go to a machine, you know, the bean to cup machines that grind it fresh, it's a totally different experience. I mean, totally different than like a capsule machine where, you know, I'm amazed because some of the capsule machines, they grind the coffee, put them in those plastic cups, and they date them for 2 years. 2 years shelf life, which to me is absolutely nuts. I mean,
and then they fill up the landfills.
Yeah, but you know, so when you find the really great prices on the capsules occasionally, you know, like they're only 40 cents each instead of 85. It's usually because they've been sitting in a warehouse for, you know, a year and a half, and that's why you're getting them like that.
And when you use fresh beans, you can choose all kinds of coffee. I mean, we use a coffee Mio from Australia. We have a Maromis coffee, which is a friend of ours roasts. They're in Italy. Fantastic. It's really good coffee.
It is
and
good
if you
stuff.
want, they do a good latte. You can get a Lavazza Top Class. Makes a really nice latte. There's just so many different coffees, local roasters. We have Joe Bean coffee now. If you want a good coffee, get on our website and look up Joe Bean. That's really nice coffee also.
They do some of the single origin and really specialty stuff.
Yeah, they're right around the corner from us. They roasted fresh for us.
That's really cool. Any more questions?
Yes, we have Shan DeGlam's Home Economics. Recognize the name as well. Hello. They've been eyeing the Accademia, yet many reviews state leakage and or warm, not hot frothing. Any insights into the latest version? We have Ed, who chimed in saying that many people forget about the internal drip that needs to be emptied.
Yeah, that could happen. If the drip tray, internal drip tray does not get emptied, that could leak there. We don't have a lot of problems with these leaking. So
No, I mean, I use one daily, you know, like I said, for over 2 years in the studio. It was my go-to machine. I mean, look, we got the semi-autos, you know, with the portafilters and all that, but if I want it quick and easy, these make really good espresso.
yeah, there's a few things you have to do just to make sure everything works good. One thing is you have to just, either this front piece goes all the way in or right there. You don't want to have it halfway here, it can leak. That's one of a silly little thing, but it is. If that moves like that,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it or not, but either way, that. And what was the other part of the question? Okay, so
I mean, yeah, that is a
Not
thing.
hot.
have this all the way out to the end here.
You just, I mean, that's just, you know, using it wisely, right? Is positioning things properly.
Yeah, and if the machine's ever in a place where it freezes, then you could find that it's going to leak also. You know, there's a valve in there. If it freezes, it can crack. So just if you're transporting the machine, you have to drain it first, and there's a draining procedure. We can get you for that.
Yep.
Yes,
to Mary.
we have Khaled. Let me find him again, or her. What is the difference between a latte and a cappuccino? I have a bit of a beginner. If we
You
have
want
our
that one? You want me to
Sure, I'll take it. I'll take it. Sure. So latte and we have a great video on this. In fact, you know, Todd, you did some frothing in there. So
Yeah, I got 1.5 million views now. So go find that one and click it. A lot of thumbs up. So.
Yeah, thanks for watching. So a cappuccino, the traditional cappuccino, you usually hear about it as a third, a third, a third. So it's 2 ounces of espresso, so a double shot of espresso, then steamed and frothed milk, about 4 ounces in total. 2 of that is, you know, not frothy at all or just a little bit of froth, and 2 ounces of that is like that airier froth. So that's the traditional cappuccino. But I will say that the cappuccinos have become over the last few years, I think, you know, when you go out and get one, are more latte-like. So it's more, you know, that's
It
really
depends
what
on where
I
you're
see.
going. If you go into one of these high-end cafes, you know, these ones where the young guys are running them and they got the fancy machines and they're really paying attention, a lot of times they give you more like a latte with really creamy milk.
Yeah.
If you go to some of the other ones, they may give you actually where you get a real layered effect with a third espresso, a third steamed milk, third froth milk.
Right.
Depends where you go. But if you go to a good spot, a good cafe, just tell the barista what you want. Tell them how you want, and they should be happy to do it. If not, you're not going to the right cafe.
Or the way to get it you really want is to make it yourself at home, right? Of
Or
course.
that.
So, and then a latte is a much finer froth, typically, than a cappuccino, although those cappuccinos are getting close to that in a lot of places. And usually a single shot of espresso. And so it's usually about a 5-to-1 milk to espresso ratio is what we find. You know what's really amazing to me is we have baristas here, like I said, that you can call and talk to and get some advice from. And when I get some that, you know, I ask them if they've worked at a chain, you know, one of the larger chain cafes, I say, you know, how many people that come in and order a latte really understand what's in a latte? And they're like, maybe 25%. They're like, so, you know, they tell me like the other 75% think, you know, that a latte is just coffee and hot milk, which I find really amazing. And
And my standard line for this is mix the espresso and the milk in the right ratios where it tastes really good and get good quality coffee, and you'll be happy.
Yeah, and find what you like. So the cappuccino is typically a stronger, more coffee beverage. Then you got flat whites, which are you know, a double shot of espresso in a cappuccino size. So the cappuccino and a flat white can be sort of similar, but yeah. So that's kind of but it does depend on where you go. Yeah, more.
Yes, we have another one from Joey Shrev. He or she is asking, will the flavor of the coffee be different if you use the milk carafe or the steam wand?
Will the flavor be different?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I like that question.
Yeah.
I like that question.
Now you're going to have opinions here, I got a feeling, right?
We'll have opinions. If you use a steam wand and you get it really creamy, like a froth like that, the way the milk mixes with the espresso is really nice. It gives you that type of drink. It's not like a layered drink anymore. It's all like one big
All combines.
Well, yeah, almost like a really good tasting milkshake that's not cold.
Yeah.
It blends real nice. With these, you saw it gives a nice layered effect, which is good too, because you can sip off some of the foam on top and tip your cup a little bit, get some of the coffee to come underneath. So it's what you like. I like the more the latte type, the creamy froth.
Yeah.
But I know I bring this machine home and I entertain sometimes. We do play cards, play euchre. I don't know how many of you guys out there play euchre, but the north west east thing. But and we use that a lot because it's really nice and fast, and everybody loves it. With the carafe. Yeah.
I mean, there's just to a really well done froth. There's just a mouthfeel that you get, and it's also another little tip here. Don't go too hot with the milk. That's another thing I hear from
that's crucial
from the baristas that walk in. People newer to the milk-based drinks, they expect the latte that they order to be as hot as a regular cup of coffee, and it should never ever be that way. A regular cup of coffee usually served about 180 or so Fahrenheit. A latte that's really hot. If you took milk that hot, it's going to taste horrible. It's going to be scalded actually. You're really looking for a temperature of about 140 degrees in that range. That's the temperature where milk has its most apparent sweetness, and it's why here's a little analogy I use. It's why bad beer is served super cold and bad coffee is served super hot, because the further something is from your own body temperature, the harder it is to taste. And if you talk to guys who are really into high-end specialty coffees, they want to drink that coffee around 130 degrees or maybe even a little cooler so that they can really taste the coffee.
Yeah, just a quick thing on that in regards to coffee drinks. What I really like to do sometimes is take cold milk and just brew an espresso into that, and then maybe put ice cube in for maybe a minute or so, cool it down, and that can also really taste good. If you don't want a hot latte or cappuccino, that can really bring out the flavors in the coffees. I just recommend giving that a try.
Yeah. So, we have more? Are we good?
We're good.
Okay.
But I would like to bring up our coffee spree again. That's something
yes.
We've been working pretty hard on over here. Very excited about. We have tons of entries. I'm going to get that link for you right into the chat. We also have it in the description. This is a contest so that you can start up or upgrade your coffee bar that you have or that you would like to have. There's 10 different ways to enter, and you can enter every day if you come back. I mean, it's just...
You really want to take advantage of that.
I've even entered in it, but I recommend for anybody else.
And then we just want to talk about, so if there's no other questions, we're going to start to wrap it up, I guess. But again, why you might want to pick up your machine at Whole Latte Love. We've got the free shipping on any purchase over $50. The 2% back in the latte reward. So when you make a purchase, 2% of that purchase price, you're going to get in reward to use for future purchases. We've got those folks that you can call and talk to, these trained baristas who really know coffee, right? And
can I butt in here for a second?
Well, please.
I just want to say, my office, which is actually it's nice, has a window, but it's right next to where our tech support and customer service people are. So if they ever have any questions, I'm just like 8 steps away from the closest one, maybe 25 from the farthest. But so if they have a question, I'm there to help. And
far enough to throw things?
Yeah, but they don't need me. We have people that are really good at it. I just come in when they have the real tough ones. Right. And I'm actually in charge of the service department also. So I really get a good feel for what's happening out there, so we can definitely help you with anything.
Right. So again, I'm going to remind you, on Friday, you've got a very special guest coming in, Sapphire. She's a really well-known latte artist, huge on Instagram, and she just does some amazing stuff. She's going to froth live for us, right?
Yeah, she's a wonderful barista also when it comes to brewing, and she's got a ton of knowledge on that. We
did a really cool thing with her where we went and tasted all different types of milks, and you can really, depending on what milk you use, you really get a lot of different flavors.
Yeah, she's from a cafe. It was Glen Edith. Yeah. When she worked, I don't know if she's working there now, but either way, we got her.
So yeah, we're excited to have her come in. So do subscribe to the channel if you haven't, so you'll get a notification when that happens. If you can't watch it live, it will be on the channel afterwards, but you pick up a lot of great frothing tips, latte art tips. She'll answer all the questions. And if we've got nothing else, we'll wrap it up. Okay.
Sounds good.
So guys, thanks for watching. Again, we're going to be back live on a regular basis. This is really cool doing this stuff. And we're always here by phone. Or we also do, like if you need some advice on stuff, you can chat. There's, lots of different ways to contact us. So do check out Whole Latte Love. And Todd, thanks for showing us the machines.
My pleasure.
And,
thank you.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you real soon. It's a little delay, Ready to talk some Accademia and Babila?
I'm ready to brew on some.
You ready to brew on some? Okay.
We'll talk about them.
Okay. Very good. Okay. All right, we're really close here. We're going to go in about 10, 15 seconds after Todd gets a drink of water. And
we good to go?
we're good to go. Okay, let's go. All right, hey, welcome to Whole Latte Love. I'm Mark. I'm here with Todd, and today we're going to take a look at a couple of our favorite one-touch super automatic machines.
Yeah, one touch, and they have steam wands, so you can both use the milk carafe or the wand, which is really what makes these machines unique.
We'll be brewing all kinds of milk drinks, espresso, some longer coffees on them. And like you said, those wands on these two machines are kind of unique because like on the weekends when you got more time, you don't just want that quick cappuccino, you can do some latte art if you want. We're going to show you that as well. So let's get into it, right?
Okay.
And talk about the Gaggia Accademia.
Well, we'll get up close and personal. Well, first thing I want to do is to kind of keep this exciting is we're going to make a cappuccino with this.
Okay.
We got a little camera here. Come on, you can do it.
I'll get it.
We got a new device here. Doesn't seem to be working so good. Everybody getting sick yet?
Yeah. Hopefully we don't have that camera up. There we go.
Do.
Okay.
They're working? Okay, man. This has got like 3 gyros in it. How are they working?
They found themselves now. So.
Okay, well, we're going to go through the machine, but while we're doing that, we're just going to make a cappuccino so you can see what this thing can do. So we're just going to push the cappuccino button. We got our milk carafe here. It's going to froth through there. Then we're going to brew some espresso right out of there.
So the carafe, you just like yank out of the fridge, put it on the machine, hit a button up here.
Yeah, well, I hit the cappuccino button. And you see up here in the display, it'll say cappuccino.
Yep.
And it's going to start to froth. So we figured we start with a teaser, so you get some good milk drinks, just so everybody stays interested.
But while it's making that, let's go through the machine, huh?
Okay. You have 4 buttons over here, one for brewing espresso, one for doing a larger coffee, one even a larger coffee. The espresso, cafe lungo. And this button here is used to switch between hot water or steam coming out of the wand down here. So we'll take a break for a second, take a look at your cappuccino in action. Now it's going to do a cleaning cycle here. It's really important to keep all parts of your carafe clean. You don't want old milk sitting in there. So that's the first cleaning cycle. Afterwards, it'll do another one where it sends steam down through the wand.
Very cool.
The other side here, we have your cappuccino button, latte macchiato button, and latte button. Now a latte, it doesn't brew any coffee, it just steams milk. If you need to do a cleaning cycle, use that button over there. So those are your 4 basic controls.
And there's the finished cappuccino in the
Yep.
about a minute, right?
Yeah, something like that. I didn't time it, but yeah,
Okay.
that's a nice drink.
Yeah.
So we'll set that off to the side.
All right, let's
And now it's going through another cleaning cycle here. She says clean there, send the steam down through here. You see it coming out the drip tray?
Yep.
Then you can pull this off and stick this back in the fridge.
And then it's ready to go for next time.
Yep.
So really easy to
If
use.
you want to put it on, you got a little cover you can use here. Oops, I'll get it in here, right? Just make it look pretty. Up top here, you have your water reservoir here. Okay, and you can put a filter in this if you'd like. We don't have it in here right now.
We have one in the Babila, which
And the
we'll
other
take a look at in a
machine
minute.
Yep.
And now, why would you want to use a filter?
You know, keeps the machine clean, keeps the scale down. The one thing you don't want it to do is send these machines in for service. So, take good care of them. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's where your beans go. And you got the grind setting here. You put quite a bit of beans in there. I'm not sure exact amount, but it's plenty.
Plenty of beans. You got a nice seal on the lid there.
Yep, right there. So it's very airtight.
Mm-hmm.
And
you got your grind control in there as well, right?
oh yeah, forgot about that. Your grind setting. I have this on number 2, so second from the finest. If you're brewing espresso, you would like it on a fine setting. If you're doing a tall cup of coffee, you would switch this over to a coarser setting.
Deeper extraction with a finer grind on the espresso.
It gives you a better extraction for a
Yeah.
short amount of coffee, like an espresso. Inside, you have a used coffee container here. So you have